All right. Good evening, everybody. It is October 19th, 2016, Team Love's monthly Zoom. We're at the third Wednesday of the month. And we're so excited to have our guest speaker tonight that's going to be sharing on, and I will tell you what she's going to be sharing on. But first, we're going to start. Thank you for everybody who's on and who other people will probably pop on as well. Thanks for taking the time. And tonight, first, I'm going to start with recognition. So recognition for September, because we're now here in October, but I wanted to go back and since we're doing this once a month now, I want to recognize all of the amazing work that we did in September. So let's start. I have Joy Harrington is a business builder, and she was at Success Club 10. That is 5 lives changed. Peter Harrington, her husband, Success Club 2, and he advanced to be an Emerald coach, woo, woo, meaning he has 2 coaches on his team. And then team builder, Stephanie Stevens. She is reaching her goal at Success Club 6 for the month. New business starter, Laura Bates. Yay, Laura from New York. She was at Success Club 6. That is a huge accomplishment for Laura. We congratulate her. Amy Lopez was at Success Club 3. All right, Amy. Business starter, Stephanie Hanna, Success Club 8. That is awesome. Team builder, April Krubell, Success Club 8. Woo, woo. James Krubell, Success Club 6. All right, he's in the club. And business starter James. Kat Johnson, Success Club 4. That's 2 lives changed. And April, can you unmute, because I need to know how to say Victoria's last name, because I said it wrong last time.
I think Winiecki.
Winiecki. Okay, I'm going to remember that.
Victoria. Oh gosh, I hope I'm right. Victoria, I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
You're going to have to tell us, Victoria, if that's wrong. Winiecki, Success Club 2. All right, girl. And then for me, I'm a team builder, and I got Success Club 6. That was my goal. So our total lives changed was 61 lives. That is incredible, you guys. September is, sometimes they say it's a good month, and sometimes it's a harder month. It doesn't, I feel like every month is just, I don't know. It's different every time. Sometimes people will say, this one was an easy month for me. And I'm like, what? That was really hard for me. But anyways, even helping one person last month, I salute you and praise you and say to you that that's better than not helping anybody. And also even just being here and showing up and being on our team is amazing. Okay, so I want to start with what kind of the topic is that we're talking about, because if you're a brand new coach and you're listening on, you heard that our theme is on high performance, and it's a recap of one coach who is here who attended it, and then I'm going to share a little bit of notes that the other coach, Joy Harrington, who couldn't make it on tonight, but she also attended this. But I want to tell you a little bit a background of what high performance academy is. So first, I'm going to start with the definition of high performance living. And this is straight from my high performance notes when I went back in September. So I took it from when I went to. So high performance living is the ongoing feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from consistently living from your best self. So you'll find books written on this. You'll find people who talk on this, okay? But we're specifically going to be talking about the High Performance Academy that Brendan Bouchard, if you have been on our team for any amount of time, you've heard of him. He is one of my top mentors along with Darren Hardy. And he is an author. So he's written a few books. The Charge is one of them that I've read, and it's actually the required reading for 4.0 in Rock Basics 4.0. So he's an author, high performance coach. He's a speaker, and he also has a podcast. And also he coaches people. So people like Oprah. I mean, April will tell you a lot more people maybe that she'll talk about. But anyways, I mean, just think Oprah. Okay, so like Oprah has hired him to like help her live a high performance life. So this is a 4-day, right? Yeah, for a 3.5 day academy. And he does this several times throughout the year. And this particular one was in San Diego. And so our coach, April Krubell, she was honored to be able to go. And then also, did you get the good discount from Vito? Because I wanted to mention.
Yes, I did. The 4.0
Okay.
discount.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So at the end, I'll tell you another quick. Actually, I'll just tell you now because I think April will finish the evening. But I'll come back to me, but anyway, I'll just tell you now. So at the end of this, if you're like, wow, I'm blown away because look at all of this information. Like how come I want to attend? Okay. How can I attend this high performance academy? So the first thing that you can do is go through Rock the Basics, rock solid start, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, get to 4.0. It is a 12-week course with Vito. Vito Lafata, one of our co-founders of our team, he paid, I think it was $10,000 to become a high performance coach. Okay. And so he's able to take this material and now he can go and teach it and be a coach, and he can teach 4.0. So that's why we get it. And we get 4.0 for free. I mean, I remember being in 4.0 and just being like, this is amazing. And then I didn't even know how amazing it was until I got to High Performance Academy. And I'm like, the people were paying $1,200, $1,400 to sit in the seat that I got for $99. Like I felt like almost like I just stole, like I stole, like it was just amazing. So go through 4.0 and you will be offered this really amazing discounted price for something that somebody paid $1,200 for. And it's worth every penny, even if you paid the $1,200 or whatever it was at the time. I think it was $1,200. Okay. So if you can't attend the academy, say, you're just like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So go through 4.0. You'll get some of the information there. Read The Charge by Brendan Burchard. Also listen to his podcast. You can start that tomorrow. Podcasts, The Charged Life with Brendan Burchard. They're very short. I really like that because I can listen to one a day or a couple times a day. In the car, that's what I have on most of the time because it's short and it's great for your family to hear. What else did I have on that? He does have a new book coming out, just released, called The Golden Ticket. I have that on my reading list. So that's another book. He's a great author. Okay, I think that's all I have. So we are going to turn this over to April Krubel. Thank you so much for spending your time. You are going to see this presentation is amazing. I already got to hear part of it. So I'm super excited. So it's all yours. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am so excited about this because yes, I went through 4.0. Yes, I went deep with it. If you're going to do 4.0, when you do 4.0, make sure you are ready to be completely committed. You're ready to not have distractions when you're working on it, and that you're ready to be completely open and honest about yourself, because if you're not, it's a waste of time. And you really want to be able to go deep. And being with Brendan for 4 days was unreal. It was absolutely one of the top 5 best experiences of my life. You can't even imagine how amazing it is until you're there. So if you have the opportunity, I definitely recommend it. I'm going back in March. James is going as well. He didn't go this time, but he's going in March. And it's in San Diego, which that's a reason alone to go.
Can you tell us, sorry to interrupt, can you tell us the dates? Do you know the dates right now?
I do.
Or we'll post them. I just wanted
James will look that up because it's on the calendar.
Awesome.
And he will put it in the chat and I will say it.
Thank you. And everybody get your notebooks. Get your notebooks. I want
to say that get your notebooks ready. You're definitely going to want this. I'm going to screen share now. And then that way, and then I'm going to do a presentation. So can you all see my screen okay? Is that a thumbs up?
You can hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, yeah. You can see it.
Great. Okay. So Jess touched on this right in the beginning. And so I'm trying to move your pictures because I can't see it. So high performance is succeeding beyond the standard norms. That part is so important because standard norms are, I always talk to my kids about, okay, so what are you doing that's the extra mile? And Brendan even says that it's not crowded at the extra mile. There's not a lot of traffic at the extra mile. So this is going beyond that good enough, right? It's an ongoing feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from consistently living as your best self. If you've ever just smiled for no reason because you're just so happy to be alive, then you know this feeling. It's a beautiful thing for sure. And I can send you all of this too. So the first thing that I want to talk about is probably the most important high performance video message that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's called the Caged, the Comfortable, and the Charged Life. And that is what he starts with. I think on the first day is when we went over this. And I had seen it a few times, but it's always worth seeing again. So what the Caged Life is it starts out with a stage where somebody, and this is great for clients, coaches, children, husband, wife, whatever, where somebody is frustrated. They just feel scared. Maybe they feel like they're never going to be better. They're never going to lose the weight. They're never going to be able to find, value in their life. They're never going to figure out a plan. Maybe they're trying to, quote, find themselves. Like you've probably heard somebody say that, like, I just don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. Or somebody is really scared to take the next move. They're terrified to do anything. And so they do nothing. They just stay caged. The second stage is where, he talked about a lion in a cage. You see at first the lion is frustrated. The lion is just like, what's going on? The lion is scared and doesn't know what's going on. And then eventually the lion just gives up, just resigned. Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to be fat forever. I guess I'm just going to be in pain forever. I guess I'm just going to have this crappy job forever. We've all seen it or been there or both. And that's a scary place to be. But it gets worse. Then you go to the bitter and the cage stage, where you are not only resigned and frustrated and scared, but that comes out as anger. That comes out as bitterness. That comes out as, oh, look at her. She thinks she's so cool because she's working out every day. Oh, look at her. She just thinks she has it all together because she gets to go on a vacation. Why don't I get to go on a vacation? That's not fair, right? She's so lucky. That's the caged life. So we've all seen that, and it can help us to kind of understand why that's not something we should take personal, that has to do with them and their circumstances and where they are. And there are ways that we can help them get past that by recognizing it. The next life that he talks about is the comfortable life. It's the you see the pretty house here. I love this house. I found that picture and I was like, yeah, I dig that house. Let's say you've gotten out of the cage. You start living your life. You're like, oh, look, I got this job. Okay, that's cool. I have some success here with that. I'm feeling pretty good. I got a good marriage. And he talks about this as, I'm fine. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. It's good. He says fine is the worst 4-letter word. And that's a really scary place to be because it feels so good. I don't know if you've ever seen Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, but there's this one scene where they're all in this Vegas casino and they're eating these flour cupcakes. And they're like, I'm so happy I could just stay here forever. And they don't realize that they've actually been drugged. And so they don't realize that all this stuff is happening outside of this feeling good. And so they just kind of stay there until one day they wake up and realize, but that's the next slide. So it's very controlled. Things are controlled. You maybe have a housekeeper, or your laundry's getting done, or your kids are in school and you've got extra time. You're making enough income that you can, kind of relax a little bit. You're content. You feel good about things. And then you move to this stage where you feel restless. You feel like, is this really all there is? Is this it? I know for me, being a stay-at-home mom, I love my kids. I loved being with my kids. It was, it was important for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And then after a while, I just started to think, well, is this what I'm doing forever? is this what April's life is about? Or is this April as the mom's life? And I started to want more. I started to think about my destiny. I started to think about my passions. And even though I was doing good work, it wasn't enough. So then we go into the charged life. And this is where he says this is the Mecca. This is not a linear life path. You are going to fall back into the caged. You're going to fall back into the comfortable, but it's getting yourself to the charged when you feel that, and getting yourself out of the caged and the comfortable, and starting to recognize those patterns faster so you can get yourself back to a charged life. And what does a charged life look like? It's engaged. These Zooms are really important. This is my third Zoom today, and I can tell you I am on kind of a high from them. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I love it. I love being with my tribe. I love coming up with ideas together, and even ideas that don't go anywhere because maybe it doesn't work out or it doesn't turn out to be something that's going to work. It's still an idea. We're still engaged with each other. And I get to just be with my friends on these things too, and laugh and joke about each other and have a good time. You're energized. Like I said, I'm on a high from this. I feel energized. There are times where I can't sleep at night because I'm so excited to get up and work and do this career because it means something to me. It's not just a paycheck. It's not just a place to fill time. It's actually something bigger that I can create a ripple effect with that will last longer than me. I'm enthusiastic about it. I'm excited. I'm ready to come up with new ideas. I'm ready to execute new ideas. I'm really jazzed about what I'm doing, and I'm always looking at ways to reinvent what I'm doing, to stay relevant, but also to stay enthusiastic in what I'm doing. I'm excited. It's so interesting when something happens in this business where we want to tell each other about it right away. And it's not just, oh, I hit Success Club. It's not about that. It's like, oh my gosh, I had this customer and, I was talking to her and she had this problem and I was able to solve it for her. And it's this excited feeling when you really are helping somebody, or you hear somebody who says, oh my gosh, I've got an extra $300 a month now. I never thought that was possible. That's an amazing feeling that you can have with somebody, and it continues to excite you. And that comes from a purpose. That comes from a mission. If you are only thinking about in wellness what you look like, you will never be able to sustain that wellness for very long, because that's very short-sighted. It's a shiny object. It's not something that's going to sustain you. But if you're looking at, I'll tell you my why, is to get older without growing old, to be able to live out my dreams with vibrancy and comfort and do all the things I'm excited about. That's a purpose. That's not you have that. He actually talks about, he works with Oprah, Ariana Huffington. He's actually worked with the Dalai Lama, which I was like, what? The Dalai Lama? He's just a person, see? And he talks about that top 2% of the people in the world have something that nobody else will tap into. And that's destiny thinking. Destiny thinking, where they are thinking way bigger than just themselves. So if you're looking at what do you look like, that's just about you. But if you're looking at, I need to keep my body optimal so I can touch all these lives and do all these things and just live so big that I leave a mark greater than myself, that's destiny thinking. All right, so that's those 3 lives there. And you can find the video. He has a great video about that. Just look up the charged or caged, comfortable, and charged, and you can find that. It's a great one. So he is really big on energy. He has 3 straight days of 10 hours on stage, or with just a few breaks. but and we are jumping around. Jessica can attest to this. You're jumping around, you're dancing, you're singing, you're shouting. You are engaged. You're not just sitting there writing notes and zoning out. You are absolutely 100% engaged. He's got you out of your seat. You're talking with people from all over the world. It's amazing. And so he's very big on energy. We covered energy a lot. It's important. If you want to do the things you want to do, you have to have the energy to do them. So one of the things that he talked about was tapping your affirmations. And some people in the room are like, oh, what? Tapping? What is that? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to pick 3 words that you want to embody. Oh, my phone is going alarm. So I want you to pick 3 words that you embody, that you want to embody over the next 6 months. So pick those 3 words. I will tell you what my words are. My words are fearless, empowered, interesting that that's my team, and determined. Those are my 3 words. They can be anything. And once you have those 3 words, then I want you to affirm them inside you. And I want you to live in those words. So you're not just like fearless, empowered, determined. No, you're like, I am fearless. I am empowered. And I am determined, right? Like you want to live those inside of you. Really believe them inside of you. And then after that, and you don't have to do that here, you want to speak them outside. And you are really almost like speaking it to yourself. And we were yelling them to ourselves. So you are saying, I'm fearless and I am empowered and I'm determined. And then once you do that, then you tap it into you. So you are literally putting those words into your being, right? So I just have this little graphic right here. I don't know if it's exactly what he did, but it's really all the same concept. He actually went behind the head too. But you tap it so you're like fearless, empowered, determined, and then, yep, you're on the head, and then you're on the, well, I have a hat on, but then you're on like the forehead, and then you're on the cheeks, and then you're under the nose, and then you're under, it's so, and he has this whole thing where you're tapping it into your body, and that repetition is proven, it works. And I mean, the way you feel afterwards is incredible. Like I went there with those words already kind of in my being, and now they are me. They are me. I came back different. So that is one way.
April, can I interrupt 1
to
second?
use your energy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The reason why I want to say this, because I was just remembering when I was just tapping with you, I don't know if you could see me, but I was tapping the places because I remember this. And when I got back, I remembered that I put my words, I wrote them as sentences. It was like, I still have it. I wrote them down again. I am a brave woman. I am an enthusiastic mentor, and I'm a passionate leader. And so I would have alarms go off in my phone about that.
Yes.
I learned that in 4.02, but I changed my words and I wrote them into sentences. And so I had alarms going off all the time, and I still do. I've changed them. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a big thing.
Your phone to remind yourself.
Phone. Yes, absolutely. Use your phone for those words to come up. And then when they come up, speak them, say them, tap them in. Yes. Thank you for that reminder. Absolutely. So he does talk about the 1-9 ladder. I'm not going to spend too much time on here, but I wanted you to at least see it. I think that some of us differ on this a little bit, but it's a good way. It's something that you can even share with your clients. So he says, take 1 to 2 breaks per hour, which is absolutely set a timer on your phone. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So 1 to 2 breaks an hour. Do not sit longer than an hour. Never. He says you got to get up at least every 50 to 60 minutes. 2 to 4 meals a day, which I'm about 6. So, but I don't know if he means like big meals or what, but as coaches, we're usually around 5 or 6. So, 4 to 5 liters of water, which is a ton. And I will tell you that I was drinking half my body weight before I left. I am drinking more now, and it makes a huge difference. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. but it makes a big difference. He has like 2 hydro flasks on stage at all times, and he is constantly drinking water. 5 to 6 workouts a week, which we're doing. If we're following a plan, we're doing that if we're following a program. And 6 to 7 meditations per week. That can be anything where you just sit. I mean, I had one of the best meditations ever in this room of 1,200 people. It was awesome. And however you meditate is right. There's no wrong way to meditate. If you have any questions about meditation, I do it a lot. So please ask me. I wouldn't say that I'm, Gandhi or anything, but I could absolutely help you with that.
Sorry, can I add one thing too?
Of course.
I'm so sorry on that. I remember the one, I don't know if he mentioned it there, but if you Google release meditation, that's his 30-minute video. And that's how I learned to meditate. I never meditated until I sat in that room at High Performance. And it
I'll
was
actually
awesome.
put
And
that
then
in
I
the
went home.
page,
Yeah, release meditation.
with the caged, comfortable, charged as well.
Yeah.
I'll put those links in there too under this when we put up the recording. And then he talks about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which we know, which was funny because it was like, well, we know that. But then, all of us Beachbody coaches are like, well, yeah, we know that, but not everybody does. So a little bit more about his energy secrets that kind of go along with that. And this was huge for me. And I came home and I have been doing these. I need to get more consistent about it because you come back, you're kind of on this big high and you're like, yes, I'm going to do it all perfectly every single day. And then, real life kicks in, but it's constantly going back and looking at this and reminding myself. So the first one is a cupping slap. And I'm actually going to make a video of the cupping slap because it's so interesting. You basically take your hands. I don't know if you can see me, but you take your hands like it shows on the picture right there. And then you go from your ankle up to your butt and you slap the whole time, like that. You're slapping the whole time. And then you take a deep breath. And then you do the other leg. And then you take a deep breath. And then you tap your hand with a cupping motion all the way up your arm, on both sides. Then you do it on your sides and your back. Anyway, I'm going to make a video because I think it's really, really good. It awakens your skin cells. It is probably one of the top things I've ever done to get myself energized. And when I am like really exhausted in this fall weather, it has been hugely beneficial. So I will make a video of that and I'll put it in our team page. 10 breaths and bouncing. So this is a great one to do when you get up from your chair at your desk, is stand behind you and just bounce, 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 like kind of a fast bounce. And then, so you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and you let it out for 5 seconds. And you do that 10 times. You can do it more if you want to. Oh, thanks, Amy. I shouldn't be reading that, Amy. So that's a great one to do, especially if you just had like a really hard call or you had something happen online that was disturbing, or you're just feeling like really exhausted or stressed out from your kids or whatever it is. This is a great one to do. Foam roller and stretching. He actually talked about meeting Tony Horton. I am convinced that's where he got the foam rolling thing from because Tony loves his foam roller. I think he sleeps with it. I'm sure of it. It's like his wife, Tony, and then the foam roller. So he talks a lot about this. And I can tell you firsthand from somebody who did not stretch for years and years and years, this is huge. I need to get better about my foam roller because he talked about that you create inflammation by working out. And then using the foam roller actually rolls that out. It gets, stretching, and that releases that inflammation. And as somebody with autoimmune, and Amy can attest to this too, the inflammation is a real thing, and doing anything that makes it worse is no bueno. So, having that, I'm gonna start using the foam roller because I absolutely want to see if that helps. Yes, the cupping does release stagnant energy. Yes, it's amazing. Okay, when I get up in the morning, I've been pounding a cup of water. This is what he talks about. Immediately flush your system. Before I put my feet on the ground, I pound a cup of water. I just fill my shaker cup with water and have it by the bed. And then I pound it. Before I do my energize, before I do anything, I pound that cup of water. Vocal energizing. I want you to look up Roger Love as a musician. I'm actually going to look him up and see if I can take a course online with him, because he talks a lot about how you need to have that vocal energizing to keep your throat open, to keep the muscles in your throat from seizing up, especially if you're planning on, like I am, to be doing presentations online and on stage. So those are things that you need to work on, because this muscle will get exhausted and it will seize up on you in the middle of a presentation. Okay, so weekly he does cold baths. Jess, I know you do this when you're running a lot. So he actually goes in, dumps a bunch of ice in and does the whole cold bath, then a hot shower. But what I've been doing, because I don't like, I'm not there yet, is I've been getting in the shower, and James has been getting in the shower and then immediately going to cold and seeing how long he can stand there. I'm taking the wimpy approach, where I am in the shower and then I'm slowly moving it down to cold until I get to the coldest point. It's just easier for my body to handle that. But I can tell you my skin feels better. I don't get like breakouts from shaving or anything, because it closes up all those capillaries and it makes everything just better. I don't know. He knows the science behind it. I'm not even going to pretend like I do. But it's really great. So if you start out that way, if you want to do it the wimpy way like me, then you can slowly move it down, to the cold, a little bit at a time. It's great for your hair. It's great for your skin. It's great to keep that inflammation down. This is get up every 50 minutes at your desk, which we talked about before. Set a timer on your phone. When that timer goes off, you do not continue what you're doing unless it's an emergency. You stop what you're doing. I don't care if you're in the middle of a post. I don't care if you're answering a client. Get up and move, and then come back. You just come back in it takes you like 3 minutes, and then you come back and you're ready again. Okay. Choosing real priorities. This is really, really great. This is something that Jess hasn't seen because I added this today. So choose a project in your head right now. Something that, it doesn't have to be something you're actually going to execute, but just say I was thinking about I have business cards that I need to make. I want to make business cards. So this is how you find out if this project that you have is really a priority, if this is something you really should pursue. Number one, is it planned? So you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. Is it planned? And just because it's a 5, it doesn't mean that it's not a priority. You're going to see at the end that what the number is that you want to, in order to, the minimum number you want in order to consider it. So is it planned? And I'm actually going to go back to is it planned, because Jess, we talked about this earlier, but he had an offer to go to the Emmys and he did not go. And somebody had said to him, the person giving him the ticket said, well, but so-and-so, super, super famous person, I told him that you'd probably be there. And he said, well, that's your problem. You're going to have to figure out, because I'm not going because it doesn't work with my priority scale. And I have stuff on the calendar that's more important. So he turned down the Emmys. You can turn down anything. He turned down the Emmys. Okay. Do you own this? Is this your responsibility? I can tell you that every single person on the earth has taken on something that was not theirs, that they did not need to do. I could give you 50 examples from people in my own life right now who take on things that are not theirs to own, that they could very easily empower that other person to take care of when rather than taking care of it for them. You actually do people a disservice by doing so much for them. Do you feel it's right? Does it align with your values? Does it align with your priorities? Does it move the needle on your goals, is what Vito says. Is this something that truly feels right to you? Or are you having some yucky feelings about it? Are you sitting there thinking, ugh, I don't want to do this? Jess, I was watching your video about the Motivating People book. And you could have made that a priority and just been like, pushed your way through it and just been like, ugh, right? But it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't align with your values and priorities right now. Is there, and look at my typo, a need now? Is there a need now? Is there a real need now, is what that's supposed to say. Is it something that really, truly must be done right now? I know that Stephen Covey talked, has the unimportant, important, that 4 that 4-box scale thing. It's kind of that same thing. Is this an important project? Is this something that has to be done right now? Or is this something that can wait? So you rate that. Oh, shoot. Okay. Is this a passion? I'm going to go back because I just hit that twice. Is this a passion? Is this something that you truly feel passionate about? Is it going to feel charged when you're doing it? Are you going to feel excited, enthusiastic, right? Obviously, we don't feel that way about laundry. So yeah, you're going to do things that aren't a passion. But if you're like, well, my kids are going to go to school naked if I don't do laundry. So yeah, I'm pretty passionate about my kids not going to school naked. So yeah, I'm going to do my laundry, right? And then the next one, will this help you grow? So when you're thinking about the charged life, you cannot remain charged if you don't continue to grow, if you don't continue to learn. Otherwise, what happens is you fall back into the comfortable life. That's when you think you know everything, you've got it all figured out. That's when you end up in the comfortable life. You will never live long enough to know everything. Never. You will never live long enough to grow to your full potential. It's impossible. There's way too much out there for us to grow from. And finally, will this help you lead? So this is great for us as coaches, as team leaders. Will this help you lead? So back to the example with Jess, with the book, that is not something that she needed as a leader right now. That book is not something that she needed. So she is willing to drop that quote priority and focus on something else that's actually going to help her lead, that's actually going to move the needle. So you can keep your numbers in your head or do it later or whatever. But the minimum number for you to consider whether or not this is a real priority is 50. So you want to have 50 or more points before you even consider this. If it's not 50, then you need to put it on a page that just like sits in a book or something that you look at another time. And I can guarantee you most of those things that are under 50, you're going to come back to, put it on your calendar to check that list every month. You're going to come back to it and half of it's going to be like, no, that's past. Like, I don't even need to do that. That would have been a waste of time. And I'll tell you that when he goes into the calendars of these people that hire him, he eliminates 60% of their calendar when he goes in, an average of 60% of the must-dos that are on their calendar. All right. We're at the end. My favorite quotes. These are my favorite quotes. Number 1, be motivated to fix the things that suck. He talks about embracing the suck. So important to embrace the suck. Because guess what? We all know this. Success is not easy and it's not pretty all the time. It's just not. That's why it's so interesting. He talks about these famous people. Oprah, let's take for instance. Everybody thinks Oprah's got, it's been so easy for her. It has been horribly difficult for Oprah. And if you know anything about her childhood and her beginnings in show business, in talk shows and all that, she was treated horrible. She was fired. It was not easy. So when you just see the end result, you're not seeing all the things that sucked. And I think every single one of us has those moments where we're like, God, it would be so nice to just sit on the couch today and not work and not follow my dreams. Wouldn't that be so great if I could just like take a week and not follow my dreams? But then you end up where you were before, caged and comfortable. And that sucks more than embracing those things that move the needle on your goals, but still suck. And you grow stronger from them. The good news is there's no traffic after the extra mile. I said that one earlier, and you can tell why I said that earlier because it's one of my favorite quotes. It's right here on the slide. I love this one. Trina says it in the way that it's not crowded at the top. I love that. It's just like, don't worry. It's okay. Because what happens is the daily consistent actions that may not look like big stuff right now, it adds up to big stuff. And many, many people, most people are not going to keep going. They're not going to be motivated to fix the things that suck. They're not going to go that extra mile. Sometimes your bad thinking is the assumption that you only have one shot. The more I read personal development about real stories, Richard Branson, Darren Hardy, Brendan Burchard, they all had many, many things that they failed at before they started to succeed at things. And then they failed some more. And then they succeeded, failed, succeeded, failed. So you don't have one shot. You have millions of shots. Just keep going. And the last person you want to meet on your deathbed is the person that you want, is the one you wanted to be. That one hits your gut hard. I know we're probably running out of time, but I'll tell you a quick story. When my grandma turned 70, I was like, are you so excited? It's your birthday, blah, blah, blah. And she turned to me and she said, and this is a woman who was pregnant and married at 16, spent her whole life serving other people. She never went to college, and she was brilliant. She could win Trivial Pursuit in under an hour. She was incredibly smart. Read probably, I'm going to say 3 or 4 books a week. And she turned to me and she said, no, you know what's so hard about today is turning 70 and knowing that I will never have the time to go back and do all the things I wanted to do. That is a hard place to be. I don't want to be in that place. So the last person you want to meet on your deathbed is the one you wanted to be. Don't have regrets. Nobody's out there trying to make you live your life. Nobody out there really cares to do that. They're all trying to live their own. So you got to get out there and live yours. And then this is something I can send to you. Brendan gave us 1,000 different books that he loves. The man is learned. I will tell you that right now. These are some of them. And then we added a couple at the bottom. Did you know that Vito wrote a book called 4 Walls, No Mirrors? Because I didn't know that. So I hope he doesn't get a hold of this Zoom and sees that I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. He wrote a book. I saw it. I went online. I found it. And so these are all the books. And you know, look them up. Maybe some of them don't speak to you. Some of them every single one for the most part, he was like, oh my gosh, if you haven't read this, then you haven't read a book. Like, he was just so passionate about them. So I will send this to you and you can look at it and you can see if any of these work for you. There's one that's not on here. Oh yeah, right here. So The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, that's Robin Sharma. And he actually was one of the speakers there. I highly recommend anything he does, as well as Anthony Trucks, who is, what's the name of his, I had it earlier. I can't remember the name of his organization. He's a former NFL player and he's a motivational speaker. He's amazing. And I definitely highly recommend anything by Robin Sharma, Anthony Trucks. They're doing great things. Yeah. So that's it. I will stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you so much. Everybody, Yay! Yay! Thank you very much, April. That was amazing.
Yeah,
this is her second time presenting this, but there was more stuff. I loved that. So the slide that you didn't show, that was the one I needed.
Good. Yay! That's great.
What you showed tonight. So that was really good. I loved the whole part about rating your priority, what you're going to do, and if the project is important for you to do it, put on your calendar or not. That is amazing. I hope you took notes. Does anybody have any questions for April? I will be looking forward to your cupping video too. And I wish I could be in their same place and we could do it together. It's fun to do. I do it often still.
Well, maybe I'll come over and we can
there we go. We could do it. It's kind of silly, you think, to do it by yourself. When I got home from HPA, my whole family would be laughing at me.
Yeah.
But you do it, and it's awesome. And I'm so glad to hear this again because I loved what you said about you can go between the charged life, the comfortable life, and the caged, because I feel like that's what's happened since a year from doing this high performance. It's like I forgot about the energy things. And doing those now, and like I put an A. I don't know if he did this when you were there, but he had us do like an A for action, B for buy in our notes. And this was a thing in the beginning. He did a Q for quote, so it's the things that you liked if you're taking notes. So I still do this today. A P for you want to write a post on that. A B for something to buy, S for sharing it. You want to share that with somebody, and an A for action. So I always have these A's next to my notes on the things.
That's awesome. Will you
action
share
on.
that with
Yes.
us? Just
Yeah, I will.
like a
I'll
graphic
write
of
it out.
what to do.
I'll put it below this.
What I did was well, you taught me, Jess,
Okay.
to take the, so we got this awesome notebook. You get a cool notebook.
Yeah.
It's like my Brennan Burchard Bible.
Yeah.
And then I always, and because Jess told me you take the first chunk. So do this at like Super Saturday, is at Summit, at anything. And you take the first chunk out right here of all these papers, and where you can write your action steps at the beginning. So you're not like digging through notes trying to find your action steps. Really great tip.
Yeah, I love that one too. So in my notes, when I'm taking it from you, when I just put the A when I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that right away, or B, I'm going to buy something. Yeah, so I'll put that in there too. I did want to just go over real quick. Joy wasn't able to be on, but she had some awesome notes she took. So I'll just read over her email that she sent me with some of her. She shared her favorite quotes too. I mean, there's so many good ones that you shared too. So she's talking about self-talk, and so maybe you'll be able to, I'm just going to read what she said. That too did pass. Talking about, remind me again. So it's like when you're in the struggle, I came home from that really with the quote, embrace the suck and honor the struggle. So this is the whole thing of that too shall pass. That too did pass. Emotion can go anywhere. Do you want it stuck in the past? When you get upset, take the time to process it. Talk to yourself and tell yourself to let it go. If you are not consistently processing it and letting it go, then you are consistently packing that baggage. That is good.
That was a big one.
That's good.
It reminded me of something that I always tell my kids when they get upset. I'm like, okay, will this matter in 10 days? Will this matter in 10 months? Will it matter in 10 years? And it's that, are you going to carry this with you in 10 years? If you're not going to carry this with you in 10 months, let it go. Really let it go. Yeah, you're probably going to hold on to it for 10 days. Maybe not, right? But it's that same thing of just letting stuff go and not carrying it with you, because you're the only person that can pick that up and walk away with it. You're the only person. So why would you do that if you don't have to?
So good. Next one is, you have to consciously decide to let things go, or your brain will hold on to it and it will calcify. And then she said she's been doing this because she shared the other day on the Team Ignite the Fire Zoom, and she said she's been doing these Sunday review questions. So I can write these questions up, but I'll just go through them real quick. So every Sunday, Brendan talks about how he reviews his last week. Okay. And this helps you to really live in the moment too, to live and treasure each, your days and your weeks and all that. So here's the first question was, what was the beauty of the week? So Joy's been sitting down and journaling this out. So what was the beauty of the week? Was I satisfied? Did I express myself first to me and then to others? What do I need to let go of? Do I know what I'm all about right now? What are my goals this week? Who am I here to serve? Why am I doing this? What can I do to surprise my spouse or loved one and bring them happiness this week? I love that. I'm going to get back to this too, because I used to do this. Okay. And the next one she has is, leave people better than you found them. People, and she said that was really helping her with her social media. People pick up on the biggest emotion you are feeling, regardless of what you do or say. And people may forget what you say or do, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That one never gets old. So those were Joy's messages that she sent to me. Okay, there's one last thing that I thought I was gonna say or do. Thank you very much, April. Thank you for putting together the slideshow. The slides. Thank you for your presentation. I feel like I was right back there. Seriously, the stuff that doesn't get old.
No, it's amazing. Yeah.
So good. Anybody have any last minute questions or comments? Did you enjoy it? Amy, nice to see you again. I think Amy was on the one.
I have HPA in my house all the time now. Yeah. It never stops.
Exactly. James is gonna.
Hi. I was at physical therapy, so I missed the beginning, so I didn't get to see. So I'm glad I got to catch it this time.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Recording, you can hop on too. And I can send my keynote to anybody who wants.
Awesome. I want the book list, please. So
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stop recording. One moment, please. Thank you, everybody.